within such a framework involves a reliance on some type of to regulate and constrain others, which add to general reasons, and thereby advance objectivity. This introduced a hierarchy in which reason provides regulative methods and the principles, and the perception and intuition provide reason with the initial material to work on. We constantly move from appearance to reality in this way. For example, suppose you think you see a friend who died last year crossing the street in a foreign city. Logic tells you that he can't be there if he's dead. However, the hypothesis would remove the inconsistency. You've mistaken someone else for him. You were misinformed about his death. You have seen a ghost. The choice among these hypotheses will depend on other evidence, further judgment of consistency, inconsistency, and probability, together with general beliefs about how nature works, which are themselves in turn the product of similar forms of reasoning. The aim is to locate your awkward experience in a world that makes sense, not just from your own point of view. It suggests a familiar way of feeling in the domain of religion, and the abstractly describing of the enterprise. To arrive at thoughts and beliefs and that are objectively correct. Beliefs are often various to possibility. The content of religion may be quite rich, including strong methods of the empirical justification of belief, and the various kinds of practical religion, and more justification, or it may be very austere, limited to principles of logic, and much as more or less of our thought, and maybe about the objective framework as offers to being simply part of our perspective of the world. The actual content of the rational justification depends on items from the attempt to be self-critical, and so what we discover cannot be reconstructed and relatively subjective. We can expect these matters to be settled permanently, since it is always possible that someone will come up with a new hypothesis explaining the perspectival character of some hetero and assertive form of reasoning. Or on the contrary, that someone will come up with a credible way to extend reasoning to a new domain, like aesthetics. One of the most radically hostile ways of making division is Kant. On the subjective side, the bulk of our forms of reasoning applicable only to the world as it appears to us. On the other side, in the viewers, either of the doing and shame, about whose objective nature our reason can tell us nothing, and includes ourselves as we are in ourselves. This is the model for all theories, that the world, insofar as we can know anything about it, is our world. But even this way, view, which is subjectivizes practically everything, preserves a non-subjective frame in the idea. There is a way things are in themselves, or ways we in ourselves, together, even if we can have no knowledge of them, so ultimately determine how things appear to us. I don't propose to discuss Kant's actual view. For example, I leave aside the mystery of the why should be possible, but the prior rational knowledge of the necessary properties of the phenomenal world. Even we suppose they are basically features of our own point of view. Due to our natures and the condition on the possibility of all human experience, is like knowing our own intention. But the theory provides a limiting case of division between perspective and non-perspective thought, with all contentful forms of reasoning falling of the perspective side, nothing but a pure idea of the way things are in themselves, which we know nothing on the non-perspective real side. This seems to me to be too minimal an objective frame, even to support the alleged phenomenon certainty of transcendental idealism. But I believe that if we separate the idea of religion from the idea that its results must carry absolute certainty, emphasizing its aspiration to universality, it's possible to withhold any relativization of subjectivity and qualification from much more religion. We can't think, in spite of the dominion of certainty, other views different conception of the authority, the human legend that I went to defend, but like that of the cards.